This year, we are pleased to celebrate the 33rd anniversary of these Distinguished Service Awards. Reinforced by this history and an outstanding roster of previous recipients, the Distinguished Service Awards have earned the highest level of respect and stature in the Alberta legal profession. Some of our past recipients include former Premier of Alberta, the Honourable Peter Lougheed, Supreme Court of Canada Justice Sheila Martin, and Wilton Willie Littlechild KC, Commissioner of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. These nominations, put forward annually in the fall, illustrate the exemplary contributions made by lawyers who are leaders in their communities. The 2026 list of nominees truly reflects the high standards associated with the Distinguished Service Awards. The lawyers nominated this year showed outstanding excellence, both within the legal profession and in the broader community. We appreciate the time and care that goes into putting forward a strong nomination, as well as the many hours our selection committee spends reviewing each submission and thoughtfully discussing the candidates before choosing today's recipients. I would like to sincerely thank everyone who took part in this year's program, whether as a nominator, a nominee, or a member of the selection committee. Thank you. The Distinguished Service Awards will be presented this year in the categories of Service in Promoting Equity, Diversity and Inclusion in the Legal Profession, Service to Legal Scholarship, Pro Bono Legal Service, Service to the Community, and Service to the Profession. The recipients of these awards will each receive a framed certificate and a handcrafted gold lapel pin in recognition of their awards. They are also invited to share some brief remarks. Please join me in welcoming our two presenters, Chris Samuel, President of the Canadian Bar Association Alberta Branch, and Stacey Petrek, KC, President of the Law Society of Alberta, who will be introducing you to all of our 5 award winners today. I'll now pass the podium over to Chris and Stacey to present the awards. Thank you.
Sure. The next category that we will present is the Service to Legal Scholarship category, and I'm pleased to present the Distinguished Service Award in this category to Professor Gideon Christian. Gideon stands as one of Canada's foremost scholars at the dynamic intersection of law, artificial intelligence, and ethics. As the University Excellence Research Chair in AI and Law in the University of Calgary's Faculty of Law, his pioneering scholarship is transforming how Canada's legal profession and judiciary understand, regulate, and adopt emerging technologies. His work confronts urgent questions about fairness, accountability, and transparency in AI, ensuring that innovation advances alongside justice and ethical governance. His distinguished academic journey reflects both excellence and purpose. After earning an LLB with honors from the University of Lagos in 2002 and being called to the bar in Nigeria in 2004, he completed a Master of Laws in Law and Technology in 2008 and a PhD in Law in 2014 at the University of Ottawa, where his graduate research focused on sustainable legal frameworks for emerging technologies. Joining the University of Calgary as an assistant professor in 2019, he was granted tenure as an associate professor and appointed the University Excellence Research Chair in AI and Law in 2024. Widely published in the McGill Law Journal, Canadian Bar Review, Alberta Law Review, and Canadian Journal of Law and Technology, Professor Christian explores AI's impact across civil litigation, criminal justice, and immigration law. He coordinates the Trial Advocacy Course, one of Canada's largest experiential learning programs, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, he launched Canada's first e-litigation course, equipping students to excel in virtual and hybrid courtrooms while advancing justice in the digital age. Let's listen as Keisha Holman-Dawson and Lillian Pan, KC, share their insights and words of inspiration about Professor Christian.
I know Professor Gideon Christian as both my law school professor and my mentor. He taught me at the University of Calgary Faculty of Law and guided me throughout my legal education. not just academically, but personally as well. I think Professor Christian stands out because he was ahead of the curve long before artificial intelligence became a mainstream legal issue. He's one of the first Canadian legal scholars to systematically study how AI intersects with legal ethics, with procedural fairness, with access to justice. And I think what truly differentiates his scholarship is that it doesn't just stay theoretical. It's also cited by courts, it's used by judges and practitioners, and my belief is that it actively shapes how the legal profession is responding to some of these emerging technologies. Professor Christian has built a distinguished academic career in spaces where very few scholars looked like him or studied the issues that he raised. He's challenged entrenched thinking in the legal profession by asking really uncomfortable but necessary questions about bias and how that interacts with technology, and then also just systemic inequities. And then he's doing that while producing rigorous court-cited scholarship and leading major institutional initiatives. I think that takes a lot of resilience and courage.
I've known Gideon for more than 5 years. I first met him when he started to teach the course, the trial advocacy course for third-year law students at the University of Calgary. He has played a leading role in artificial intelligence and the law, and bringing that kind of scholarship to his legal writing and to the courses he teaches for students is something that's really important. He does a lot of work with graduate students. I've watched him with them, and he supervises and encourages a whole generation to look at legal scholarship and its impacts on the way that the law works with artificial intelligence. And I am so happy for him that he has been given this award because he deserves it. He is a role model that is a welcome figure and a much needed one in our legal community.
I want to say a big thank you to Canadian Bar Association Alberta, the Law Society of Alberta for this award. I really feel honored and humbled to be receiving one of the most prestigious awards for legal scholarship offered to a lawyer in the province of Alberta. This award holds a very special place in my heart, and I will tell you that very soon. You see, some 20 years ago, when I left the warm comfort of my ancestral home back in the kingdom of Wakanda and flew 9,000 kilometers to a very cold country where I know no one and had no one, no family, no friend, not even an enemy. I guess the last one was a good thing. I came to this country with one sole ambition and dream, to be a law professor. And I'm so happy that many years after that, one province, Alberta, one city, Calgary, one institution, the University of Calgary, has made that dream come true. So thank you, Alberta. Thank you, Calgary. Thank you, University of Calgary, for making that dream come true, for giving me the job I have always wanted, the best job in the world for me, which is teaching. You see, the fact that I am where I am today, literally and figuratively, was because some good people some years back at the University of Calgary Faculty of Law made a decision to offer me an opportunity I have always wanted. That opportunity was to be a law professor. That decision actually moved a novel research I was conducting in a small office space in the basement of my home in Ottawa, Ontario, to a much bigger office space in an ivory tower in Calgary. That decision has actually landed me where I am today. Sweet trouble, you might say. You see, at a point in time, and this is a fact, that the legal profession today is experiencing one of its most difficult challenges, and that is the integration of law into legal practice. It's a huge challenge that comes also with huge potential. And I'm so happy that my work in this area is contributing or helping our profession to navigate these troubled waters today. I'm so happy to my very good friend, my student, or probably my former student, and now my colleague in the Alberta Bar, Keisha Holman-Dawson, for nominating me for this award. I'm also grateful to my colleagues at the Faculty of Law for creating a very wonderful and supportive environment that has made it possible for me to not only thrive, but also to even exceed my own expectation. Thank you all so much. I must also say a big thank you to over 120 lawyers and judges from the Alberta Bar and Bench, as well as recently the Edmonton Bench, who every year volunteer their time to as part-time instructors or as volunteer instructors in our trial advocacy course, the biggest trial advocacy course in any law school in Canada. Thank you all so much for helping in training the new or next generation of lawyers. Like I told you at the beginning of this talk or this speech, my dream in coming to Canada was to be a law professor. But one thing I can tell you that was never part of that dream, and I never imagined was going to be part of that dream, was the fact that someday I am going to be receiving the most prestigious award given to a legal academy in the province of Alberta. And that is what makes this award very dear and special to my heart. So to Law Society of Alberta and to Canadian Bar Association Alberta, on behalf of myself and of course my family here today, I want to say a very big thank you for this award. I accept this award with sense of humility and gratitude. Thank you so much.
Alberta, congratulations once more to our award winners. Thank you to all of you for joining us today to celebrate 33 years of recognizing the best and brightest in Alberta's profession. And thank you again to the Council Network for their continued support. We would just ask now as we close that the recipients and our presenters kindly make their way to the back for a group photo. Thank you.